Good morning. Here we are at the end of the week, and I'm at camp. It's afternoon here, and so I'm posting this for Friday morning because I don't know if I'll get something up on Friday morning from Friday morning, but it's been teen camp week, and I don't know how many camps I've been at. I don't know what you have in the picture behind me. Anyway, I apologize if there's anything that's a mess. The girls girls have been at the pool. They're cleaning up now. The guys have been in a session, junior high boys and high school boys. I taught the high school boys on a man's role, 3 P's: to plan, to provide, and to protect. Taught a lot on that to the older half of our guys, and the girls. Then this is a cleanup time for them. The guys are getting their time to goof off some. And there's a group that just been practicing a song with the piano in the chapel over to my left, your right, and guys playing ball. You might hear some of the guys are in the pool now. Girls will the next hour, they're going to have sessions. My wife and my daughter-in-law, Ruth Ann, they're teaching the girls. And so a teen camp, for those of you that are not familiar, my first camp was at North Valley Baptist Church in Redding with Pastor Royal Blue. And Pastor Blue's youth director, Craig Scott, was our junior high youth director. And I didn't go to camps growing up. I had no idea what a camp would be like for kids. So I started out learning about camp as a worker. And I did a children's camp one year and with one of the assistant pastors named Ed Turney. And then I did the high school or junior high camp with Craig Scott. Went to Bible college, finished school, and started our church and thought, I'm just going to do what we did. We do a lot of memory verses. We do a lot of athletic competition. And some of it's not athletic. There was one part where the teenagers are divided into 4 teams. There's 3 different churches here besides ours. And we mix the kids up. So they're among friends. And it's not our church versus your church. And so there was basketball going on. There's volleyball, different games going on. But there were games, there was a nature art kind of a thing. You had to take rocks and pine cones and branches and make something. You had your 20 minutes, and each team had to do that. And so there's all kinds of competitions. It's not all athletic, it's not all academic. But everything culminates with the preaching. And tonight, there's preaching in the morning, and everybody's together for someone preaching in the morning, and then in the evening tonight I'll be preaching. This is Thursday. That I'm recording this for Friday morning just so you could see a little bit of camp. And it's a great thing to get our young people away. And we work at it. No technology. We work at it. If they need to call home, all the counselors have phones, and anytime a young person needs to call home, they can get to a phone, call their mom or dad or whatever. But we don't want them sitting there constantly looking at social media, looking at texts and being in touch. We want it all centered around here. And by the way, it would be a good idea if we did that in our homes. Get rid of social media, get rid of the technology. More teenagers have messed themselves up with phones and tablets and things than you can possibly imagine. And I know some of you trust your kids, and I'm telling you, you shouldn't trust your kids. A young man with access to the internet is going to do wrong. I'm telling you, he's going to do wrong. 99 young men out of 100, maybe 100 out of 100, I don't know. But we're flesh. And then the girls, there's all the emotional attachments and things that stir people up. And there's liberal views. And then there's the sodomites trying to reach in and make themselves look normal to your children. And they're not normal. They're corrupt and they're perverse. And I don't hate them, but their lifestyle is vile. And God sodomites came from Sodom. God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And I've got no animosity toward the people. The lifestyle is beyond words corrupt. But see, it's being pushed on our young people. Indiscreet women and men, inappropriate comments, inappropriate behavior. There's so much on social media. So here, the kids get a lot of scripture, a lot of godly singing, a lot of preaching. They get just a wholesome environment, and it is really good. This is our theme, and the theme is rescue. One of our firemen, Dan Strickland, came up and in his full fire garb, looked just like that, and he told stories of people that messed their lives up and needed rescued, because our theme is don't get where you need to be rescued, and then learn to rescue others. And so this is full of all kinds of songs and memory verses and devotions and different things. But when we consider what God has called us to do, what is it that we're here for? You know the great commandment, to love God, to love your neighbor as yourself. He's called us to do those things. And there's no accidents. God is on purpose, put us where we are, at our age, our health, in a hospital, in a convalescent home, with 6 or 8 children at home. And how do I do anything but wash clothes and feed kids and wash kids and put kids in naps and wake them up from naps? But God knows where we are. And God is very, very much in control. And so I'm just going to read a verse or two here real quick, see how many bugs I can get off me while I'm doing this. But most of you're familiar with the Apostle Paul, and we've talked in our Wednesday nights, we're talking about 1 Corinthians, going through that. But in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, the Apostle Paul talks about some things about our burdens and our heartaches. We have burdens, we have heartaches. And yours are different than mine. But we know Romans 8:28 that God worketh all things together for good. We understand that. But beyond that, it goes beyond it. Yes, he uses all things for good. But in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, it says that God is the God of all comfort. In verse 4 now, this is 2 Corinthians, who comforteth us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted of God. For the sufferings of Christ abound in us. Paul said, man, the sufferings of Christ, they're abundant. We have lots of suffering going on in our lives. And we do need comfort. So we have burdens and we have sorrows and we go to God. Well, God is the God of all comfort. And he comforts us in all of our tribulation. That, he says, I know the verse, but I don't know where it is, verse 4, that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted of God. And so we have a burden, and God comes along. We go to God for comfort. Now, if you go to the drugs and liquor in the world, then you're a mess. But if we go to God for comfort, and we go to God, maybe with a broken heart and sick to our stomach and tear-filled eyes, but we go to God looking for his strength, his presence, his comfort, and we find his comfort. And then God gives us that comfort. And by the way, it's not the moment we ask. Sometimes he likes us hanging around him, and the comfort comes. Now, when we have that trial, we found the comfort. We find that God is real, a very present help in time of need. And now I meet someone who's got a burden, who's got a heartache, and I'm able to comfort them with the comfort God comforted me with. And so my comfort from God is not for me to embrace. My comfort from God is for me to pass on. It's like money. I'm not supposed to hoard my money. I'm supposed to use my money. And so we find comfort here in 2 Corinthians 1, verses 3, 4, and 5. This God of all comfort, he's here to comfort us so we can comfort other people. And so wherever you are in life, God put you there to be a comfort to someone else. Maybe a phone call, maybe stopping by and talking to them at church, maybe like our rest home services. This week, a couple of our men were in a new rest home. They had lunch with some of the folks who are there and putting things together for services on Sunday. We've got this new rest home. What a wonderful thing that we get to bring church to some people and bring them some comfort, and bring them some joy. And wherever we are, God's got a plan and God's got a purpose, and there's no accidents. And so I want to encourage you, wherever you are today, God knows, and God's not dead, and God is not done, and God wasn't surprised by what you and I went through. Now, we fall apart sometimes, and we cry, and we think God, I've never thought God's dead, but I have wondered, do I have enough strength to go through this? But we do, and he is our strength, and he is our comfort, and he comforts us because I'm supposed to comfort someone else. I'm not getting comfort so I'm comfortable. I'm getting comfort as a tool. Like going to school, I learned something to help others. And the kids here at this camp, we're hopefully equipping them to be a help to others. And wherever you are today, all things do work together for good. And God will comfort you in your sorrow so that you then can comfort others. And Lord willing, those young people at this camp, as in the camps of years gone by, who will go out and run other camps and be a help to the churches that they serve in. And they may work some secular job and just be a help to their pastor, but running a camp, keep the spirit of our camps is exceptional. And we've got Pastor Pastor McConkey, Pastor Moffitt, and Pastor Cowling, all three, their churches here from Arizona. And what a blessing to have these folks, like-minded people, and I'm grateful to get to be a part of it. I hope you're in your place on Sunday. If you're not in our church, be in your church, be in Sunday school, be in your place. Let's be at soul winning on Saturday, and be a blessing. Carry gospel tracts with you, and let's make a difference in this hurting world. Let's bring some comfort that God has given to us. Let's give it to others.